Hello, my lovely magic maker friends. Welcome back to the Mermaid Mystic channel. Thank you so much for being here. I did a reel today. On Fridays, I'll do like readings I call spicy and nicey. You know what I mean? We go sweetness, we go sass, helping us to have a good weekend. And it was so exciting that I've decided to turn it into a YouTube video. So, this is a reading for the collective for whoever stumbles upon it. I think the timing's like pretty on the nose with our Jupiter and Cancer vibes, with all this like good luck and good fortune happening. And yeah, so if you want to stick around, enjoy the reading, enjoy the reading. Let's see what's going on for you. So the spicy part, I have this oracle deck called Bitch Slaps from the Universe, and it like swears and it's good fun. And so this is our spicy message. And then I got some tarot cards for our nicey. So the spicy, and it's up here, I'll read it to you. It says, when you show up in your life and play it big, you give yourself the opportunity to ask what the F just happened as the universe does all its magic and shit. And then in little letters there, it says, stop playing small. So I sat with this and I thought, okay, right, what's the message coming out? And I just saw the like hamster wheel. So here sometimes I feel, you may agree or disagree, tell me what you think, as we get older, we're younger, particularly in our 20s, things feel like really new, right? Even our 30s, there's still a lot of like kind of new experiences. A lot of like new beginnings with like relationships, learning about relationships in our 20s. We have a little bit more freedom, so we might be traveling more, or maybe you didn't have freedom, and that's a part of this, but we'll get to that. We start to develop more serious relationships as we get older. We are buying houses, we're finishing school, cars, like all those things that we're kind of like supposed to do. And there's nothing wrong with those things, right? But one of the things that kind of keeps us young and alive is all that newness, right? Like challenging ourselves. So I was sitting with this message, and it said, stop playing small. What I saw there was the hamster wheel. So sometimes what happens is we get in this place, we want to pay off the car, and we want to pay off the mortgage, and we want to save up for this new thing. And we're at this job, and we end up just living the same life, the same day, over and over and over again. And what happens then, and then, we spend more time working, we spend more time just with our partner, a couple close friends, our world shrinks. We get shrinky dink world, and things get really small. And we get more sedentary, we work the same job, like I said, and all of a sudden it starts to feel like we've just like been on this hamster wheel. And that's not to say that every moment in life needs to be like pew, 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 pow, so exciting and fireworks. There's definitely a lot of life that's just chill. But this is not what that message is saying. This message is saying that now we have been playing small. And to me, it's that hamster wheel. We get very comfortable. And of course, stability and comfort, let's not underestimate those. Being without them sucks and can limit our freedoms. But there's this kind of a dance here where we want stability and comfort to support us, to do cool, uncomfortable things, to grow, to be adventurous, and not to become a cage. So reading this, I was like, this is just, it happens, right? That's actually, I had a shamanic teacher teach us that that is what a midlife crisis really is. It's not actually a desire for youth. It's that you are not living in alignment with your soul's authentic truth, and you're like rebelling and you're looking for things. And that's why sometimes we go back to the things we might have liked in our youth, and because we associate that time with a period perhaps of freedom or excitement. But freedom or excitement is available to us all the time. And ideally, we don't really want to go back. I don't know about you. Like, I learned those lessons in my 20s. They were great sometimes, but that's enough. I like who I am now. I like the knowledge I have. I like the wisdom I have. So this is an invitation for freedom and those youthful energies that they don't only exist in the age group of youth. Youthful energies can be being open-minded, being open to new experiences, embracing the beginner mindset, right? Lightening the load. We don't need to have so much stuff all the time. So, and that can also be just metaphorical stuff, right? The baggage that we all end up, we love it. Let me carry it. This is who I am. So to me, there's this message of the hamster wheel. And when we get stuck on the hamster wheel, we might find ourselves being like, I thought more things would happen. I thought I would be farther along. Is this it? And I think sometimes we doubt ourselves because then we were like, oh, am I ungrateful for my life? No, we should be so grateful for life. But our spirits, our souls didn't come here for a hamster wheel. Our spirits really came here to live very fully and to experience as much of life as possible. So if you're watching this, this is an invitation. Whether you feel it's the hamster wheel or you just feel you've been holding back, our spicy message is that when we hold back and we're just kind of hiding, we're just dipping our toes, we're like, I want to do something different. Well, I'll just put on Netflix. I don't want to think about it. The universe is like, I cannot play ball if you do not play ball. Like I love spellcasting. It's one of the best things. I know I'm like, let the eyes get big. I love spellcasting. It's so powerful. It's so amazing. But one of the things I've really learned through it is that it has to work with you. Like you need to give it, like you are the path it will flow through. So I think that's why some people have better luck than others. If we expect it just to do everything, if we cast that spell to get a job and we don't apply for jobs and we don't beef up our resume and we don't try and make connections, the universe doesn't have too much of a path. We're not giving it a path, right? So that I bring this up because in this card, to me, this reading is like, you got to give the universe a path to what you want. And you do that by getting out of your comfort zone, potentially. Getting out of your comfort zone, opening up your world and getting off the hamster wheel, which could also involve different perspectives, right? Like if you're like, no, I like my life, but I do feel crowded in. I like my job. I do want to stay here. I like where I live. And, like we're not just doers. We are these spiritual mental beings. So one great way to also get off the hamster wheel, to open our world, is to practice seeing different perspectives. And I think this is particularly important today with the influence of like algorithms. We feel like everything is just zoomed in and focused in on these little things. We got to open up. The world is not just our perspectives or our likes, Another way to do this is getting out in nature. I find good, having a home is wonderful. This isn't saying things are bad. This is bringing things into balance. Having a home is obviously great. But our homes are square and the ceilings are little. When you actually get out and walk in a forest, you can be like, whoa, there's like all that awe and divinity at just how big the world is and how little we are, which is actually great. Because then we can take a lot of that pressure off of ourselves to be so perfect, to get it right. Oh, I have to do it exactly this way. When you get out in nature and you see like a big mighty tree, or you like are underneath the stars, or you're like by the ocean, you're like, right, so much of ourselves, we realize how small we are. Our view gets bigger, but like our self-importance gets smaller. And this is a very liberating place because we don't have to take ourselves so seriously, right? So to me, this is the message. This is our spicy message. We need to get out of these little box rooms or boxed ideas. We need to challenge our perceptions. We need to sit and be like, am I on the hamster wheel? And now this part, this is really spicy. I'm here for you. And I've had to do it for myself too. Okay. Nothing I suggested are things that I haven't done for myself. We have to check in with our excuses. We have to be very honest with our excuses. Now, this doesn't mean that we are completely discrediting the difficulties or challenges that we may have to navigate in getting off the wheel. But we have to check into if it's a can't or a won't. This is something that I discovered was really helpful for me. I noticed I'd be like, oh, I can't. And I stopped and I was like, I do not like this word. This implies a complete lack of ability and not enough of my free will. And my free will is my power. So am I actually saying I truly cannot do this, or I will not, I am choosing not to? Those are very different energies, right? Like, can I sprout wings and fly right now? No, I cannot. Can I single-handedly topple some of these awful systems that are like destroying the world? No, she can't. Can I choose to do other things? Can I choose to save money? Can I choose to be brave? Can I choose? So just notice, because I meet people a lot of times, they're like, oh no, I can't do that. And if you were to sit, it's not a can't, it would be difficult, so I won't. But those are very different. This is good because we can actually represent, there are some can'ts in life, it's true. But when you filter them out, then when you see what you truly cannot do, you see all the things you can do, and it gives you an idea of what your choices really are. And then you can decide what's worth it. Because sometimes we say we can't because it's just not worth it. You're like, I don't want to. That's fine. But that is still, I don't want to is still more empowered than I can't. This is a shift. Okay. So this reading is mostly spicy because that's what all the stuff that came through for me. But I'm going to wrap it up with the nicey. I mean, really, this is not nice. We all need to hear this. And this is the kind of thing that can set us free, right? Free from ourselves. So the tarot cards are nicey, a little nicey reading. We get the Page of Cauldrons. I love this deck so much. This is a Canadian deck for my Canadian friends. Jessup's Magical Tarot deck. It is good fun. I like it. And for any of my new readers, it's got keywords on the side, and I like the keywords that this creator uses. So this is a great deck. Anyways, so the Page of Cauldrons, who is the Page of Pentacles, right? We have the Two of Candles, Two of Wands, and we have the Sun. Oh, okay. So first off, the Page of Cauldrons. So the pages are like the children in the tarot. And they're also the messengers. So this is a sign of messages coming through and of new beginnings. What do we talk about here? What are we talking about? We need that childlike sense of wonder. We need that kind of beginner mindset. It keeps us young, which keeps us vital, which is good for us. And especially if you're older, you have your wisdom too. It's not foregoing the life experience in the name of inexperience or being naive. It's having all of your life experience to anchor and support you, and then having a youthful, young at heart, open mind. This is balance, my friends. This is actually the joys of growing older. So the Page of Cauldrons, okay. So this is a sign of getting good ideas. So downloads, messages, because cauldrons are pentacles. Pentacles are associated with the earth. To me, this was a suggestion to get out in nature, like we talked about earlier, going for a walk, not looking at your phone, not even listening to a podcast. We need to kind of have, the vessel needs to be emptied in order for it to be filled. So I saw this as walks in nature, or time doing kind of slow meditative things so that you can receive good ideas. So these are good ideas coming through to you in the Page of Pentacles. These could be about health. These could be about finances. This could be about your connection to nature. It could be anything really with Pentacles, because it's not just money or career. It's like what we're doing. So Pentacles would be more money or career, but I just don't want to limit this because this is a collective reading. So this is giving yourself space. Empty vessel, ideas can come in. Okay. Then the Two of Cauldrons, the Two of Wands, this is bold moves. Now, this is different than the Fool. I find sometimes people kind of link these two. There's a very important distinction. The Fool insists on a trust and faith in the unknown. The Two of Wands, yes, we are embracing the unknown, but it's bold strategic moves. So there's more of a sense of planning as opposed to like needing to like baby bird yourself and like throw yourself off the nest and discover your wings, right? So this card is not just winging it. This is a card of, I want to do this cool thing. It is time to make the bold move, and bold moves get us off the hamster wheel. So this is a very nice combination because pentacles have a very steady energy and wands have a very fast and alive, vibrant energy, but they're quite balanced. So to me, this suggests a time, like give yourself space to have these good ideas. You don't need to feel like if you don't make this, if you don't figure this out tomorrow, you're like wasting your life, because that's like shame and pressure that clouds our vision. This is some peace and patience. Getting outside nature, opening yourself up, welcoming in those ideas and downloads. Perhaps you already know what they are, but the walk in nature could give you some clarity as to how exactly you want to execute them or where you'd like to go with them. And then the Two of Wands is the encouragement to just make a bold move. You can plan, it can be strategic, okay? But it is bold. It is moving you outside of your comfort zone, which is helping us get off the wheel. And last but not least, the Sun. So this card is Major Arcana. So that means that our eyeballs laser in on this card. It makes it the focal point of the cards that we pulled. So the Sun is a card of success and joy and vitality and abundance. If you view tarot as an alchemical journey, which I do, because if you look at the artwork of the Smith Rider-Waite Tarot deck by Pamela Coleman Smith, it's like chock-a-block full of alchemical images. The Sun is that seventh planet, is that final rung on the ladder, the alchemical process. So this is where we have taken lead and we have turned it to gold. So I find sometimes, the sense I was getting too for this wheel is sometimes, you know, not everything in the past worked out for us, for anyone. There's things we're ashamed of. There's things we're embarrassed of. There's things that are still impacting us in the present. And the past doesn't always feel like it's very in the past. The Sun here reminds us that everyone has their, again, going back to alchemy, their lead, something heavy, something dense, and something that weighs them down. We have various shapes and various forms. Comparing it is futile. Focus on your own journey. So here, the sun reminds us we all have lead and we all have a path to turn it into gold. So gold would then be our expression of authenticity, a sense of lightness, of wisdom, of connection, of joy. So to me, this is just a reminder. Sometimes when we get stuck on the wheel, you're like, oh, I can't. This happened, and now I'm here, so now I can't. Remember, can't or won't. The sun lets you know, should you embrace this calling, this path? The rewards are so much more than material. This is a happy soul. This is authenticity. This is peace. This is vibrance. This is energy. This is abundance and growth, creativity, vitality. It's the sun. So it is well worth it to get off the wheel. Your soul came here to shine, not shrink, no matter what your age is. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. Mwah! Much love and magic to you all. Take care.